Assalamu alaikum and welcome to another episode of your events with me, Samira Uleila. Here we are in the heart of London at the P21 Gallery. This is precisely at the P21 Gallery that I attended an insightful exhibition and competition for the reconstruction of destroyed Palestinian villages. This is a beautiful initiative led by Dr. Salman Abu Sita, a Palestinian researcher internationally known for his groundbreaking project in mapping historical Palestine. Architecture students, the third generation of Palestinian refugees from 8 universities, mainly from Palestine, entered the competition in order to design and reshape a Palestinian village of their choice that was destroyed with the creation of the Israeli state. I had the honor to interview Dr. Salman Abu Sita as well as the impressive jury members.
My name is Salman Abu Sita. I'm the founder and the president of Palestine Land Society, established here in Britain 20 years ago with the aim of documenting Palestine's land and people.
Please introduce yourself.
My name is Dr. Victoria Waltz. I'm from Germany. I am a retired docent from Dortmund University, Technical University. I studied architecture, but in fact I changed to spatial planning.
I am Dr. Rassam Badran, an architect, planner, researcher. I am practicing urban design and architecture in the Arab world.
Salman Abu Sita has spent nearly 50 years of his life digging for any detail of information about Palestine during and after Al-Nakba, which means the destruction of Palestine.
As you know, and as most people know, since 1948, the Israelis, who are European settlers who came to Palestine to invade it and occupy it, they have depopulated, that means expelled, the inhabitants of 560,000 villages, which made 3/4 of Palestinians refugees. When they expelled them by the force of the army they brought from Europe in 9 brigades, 120,000 soldiers, veterans of Second World War, and we have nothing to fight them. The British have been instrumental in creating and helping this invading force to come to Palestine. So the settlers who claim to take Palestine as their own expelled the inhabitants from 560,000 villages, and then they proceeded to demolish these towns and villages. And the inhabitants of these, who are now 70 years away from their homes, are determined to return back. Now, third generation of the refugees, Palestinian refugees, who are students in architecture, they are entering in a competition which we organized among, at the moment, 8 universities in Palestine and neighboring countries, Arab countries, and they enter in the competition to design their village which has been destroyed. We provide them with maps and photographs of the old village, and they redesign it in a modern way with increased number of population, of course, and with modern technology and so on.
For this competition, I was in the jury member from the spatial planning aspect, yeah. So the last student we heard about Jibrin village This is amazing how he was looking at the national context of Palestine, looking as his village to become a central place, which is a planning issue also, a central place for connecting the West Bank and Palestine from 48. So very, very, very interesting, this idea, very political, and I think he could have also got the first prize. But in fact, all of the competition or the entries show how difficult for students which are young and they haven't so much experience, how difficult it is for them to create not only a mission and a creative idea, but then to materialize it into material, buildings and transportation system and all this.
I think what happens in this competition is very important because students are trying to understand the values behind being aware about the importance of the family structure in the micro level, and also the communal approach when you look to the public spaces, or what we call it in the planning, the void and the mass.
This year we have 8 universities participating. Each university provides 4 students. So we have tentatively 32 entries. Now we also asked international jury names which are well known in architecture. We have 2 from Britain. We have also from Ireland and from Germany. We have also from Palestine. They sat yesterday to examine the submissions, and they have decided who is the first winner and who is the second and third. Each one will have a monetary prize, plus the first one will have a traveling fellowship to see how people in Europe, for example, in Italy or somewhere else, how they rebuilt the destroyed villages due to earthquake. In our case, it wasn't earthquake. It was the act of the Zionist settlers who are called now Israelis.
The students, this especially, but all of them, they had really very nice creative ideas. And for me, in this situation that, as was mentioned, Trump, Netanyahu, and all the right-wing development in Europe, it seems like the case is lost. And normally, especially in Germany, where we are always stressed with the idea we are anti-Semite if we talk about Palestine, the main talking is the case is lost, they should accept what Israel is saying, there is no hope. No, with this project there is a good explanation of hope and future. And I want really to bring this idea also to Germany, that there is a way to have a peaceful future together, and that it's possible. The right of return is not just a word, an international right maybe, but never to be realized. No, it's possible, and that is the good in this competition.
My message is to how to create meaningful concepts of urbanity, and also meaningful language of how we live in this micro level of the envelope, which is the architecture as a second dress. We have this dress and we have another dress. It's the architecture skin.
It is very interesting because the students, when they work on reconstruction, they know that they are rebuilding the home of their father or the grandfather. So they have particular affinity to the project. They are trying to rebuild what their fathers or grandfathers have lost. So it is a labor of love and labor of creativity.
The statements brought up by the jury members showed the willingness to promote and spread the events across borders so that the world is made aware of this fascinating competition.
It's a collective process to break the isolation on Palestine generally, and also to think of Palestine as a whole, without us falling into a trap of fragmentation of the map. The map is very fragmented, very confusing. Palestinians don't really know where the spaces start or end. And for once, when discussing this idea of the reconstruction, we're looking at a holistic map where all Palestinians get involved, especially the Palestinians of the diaspora. And by internationalizing the competition even further, it's going to become even richer, because we also find the challenge that even if you don't come from the context or where you're not familiar with it, how could you offer creative means to rethink that landscape? And that's why it will be very exciting to expand this for the next year, and we hope that if there are students around, which I know there are, they could be part of it. Thank you.
Good. I'm an angry man, I'm a Palestinian, but I'm a patient man as well. I believe this competition, the importance of this competition beyond the architecture, is a wake-up call, not for the Palestinian youth of today. And the youth of today is an exciting element throughout the world, because they are going to change the world. And the Palestinian youth today, this is a wake-up call not only for them, but also for the world itself. Because like many other documentations about Palestine, we know that it's probably the biggest volume of documentations that has been done about Palestine. And it has been filed, it has been shelved, it has been silenced. People read them and they silence them and they put them and they forget about them. Salman did an incredible atlas, and I don't want it to end on the shelf. I wanted to manifest itself in this competition. Now, many people say that let's not make this competition political. Let's keep it academic, cute, and competition and winning and all that. Anything and everything about Palestine is political.
Then came the most important part of the event, the announcement of the 3 winners of the competition.
Good evening, everybody. Very nice to see you here tonight. This is our 2nd year of the competition. We're always delighted to see our old friends and new friends as well. I think you can see how lucky we are in this competition to have this panel of judges. They have the knowledge, they have the experience, they have the compassion, and they have the sense of humanity. Now I have the pleasure of announcing the winners. And these students are, I hope they hear us now. The students are Amjad Jawad Uwaida. His project was about Suba in Jerusalem district. Ahmed Muhammad Ajur. His project was about Safuria in Nasra district. And Dina Abu Sahmoud, her project was about Western Sawafir in Gaza district. And Kariman Mashharawi, her project was on Karatia, also Gaza district. We salute them for their work. The jury awarded the 3rd prize of $1,000, which goes to Lu'ay Dik of Bir Zayt University. His project was rebuilding of Beit Jibrin in Al Khalil, Hebron district. First prize of $2,000, and traveling fellowship. I hope, Antoine, my friend, you can manage it to happen this time, to visit Italy and observe the reconstruction of some Italian villages destroyed by earthquake, not by Israeli soldiers. So I hope he will learn from that. His name is Yazan Muhammad Ali Nasrallah from the University of Petra, Amman, and his project was Al-Qastal in Jerusalem district. We congratulate them.
Winners couldn't attend the ceremony evening, but they were broadcast live from Palestine via Skype to share with us their happiness, despite some difficulties they experienced getting to us live. It was just an eye-opener.
Are you there?
Sorry about that.
Yes.
Sorry about that. It was the electricity cut. As you know, Gaza suffered from the electricity, so the shortage of electricity. So it was no connection.
Here you have a live example, only for half an hour. So what about his lifetime? Lifetime like that.
I wanted to know more about the childhood memories of Salman Abu Sita, who was born in 1937 into a Palestinian family with a long tradition of fierce resistance to the occupiers of the land. You're so proud of your land, so what are the best memories that you have from your holy land?
Well, I put all my thoughts in my memoir. It's called Mapping My Return, which was published in 2016. And although I lived in my homeland the first 10 years of my life, and the rest I was a refugee, these 10 years are the roots which I never forget, because my father and mother and my grandparents, they always lived and died on this land. So it is not by the number of years. 10 years living in my home are, to me, much more valuable than many decades later. So I put all my thoughts in that memoir, Mapping My Return, and I'm glad to say it received very good reviews in The Guardian and Mondowise and other places. Now it's being translated into Arabic and Italian, possibly French.
Shukran. Thank you very much. Shukran. Well, it has been an amazing evening, a very, very inspiring evening. I was lucky to have met some of the most prominent academicians, scholars, such as Abu Salman Sita and other scholars. Now, the lesson that we have from this project is that the fight goes on. This beautiful, insightful project presented by students from Palestine has shown us that, yes, the battle is still continuing, that the legacy of Palestine is not to be forgotten, that all those villages that were destroyed, people who were massacred, people who were pushed away, will remain, obviously, in the dark history, but the legacy of Palestine is still there and still goes on. See you next time.